Dang it. Of course, when I hit the record button, it stops raining. Our question is for this journal entry is rather heavy, so it would have been cool to have the rain in the background as atmosphere. But of course, just stops right when I hit the record button. Anyways, welcome to my little journal entry. I just kind of want to make these so that anybody who's maybe going through a rough time or feels alone could perhaps feel a little less alone, or maybe could find something they relate to in what I'm saying. I hope that in some way these entries could help you, or at least make you feel a little less alone. So, our topic for this entry is going to be a pretty big question. Will it ever get better? Whew. This question cuts deep. It cuts deep because it's one of those questions that no one has an answer to. There's too many variables for there to be a definitive answer. Whatever it means, whatever the it in will it ever get better means to you, usually what you get are the same the same answers, one of them being patience and something else, but I'll get to that other thing a little later. This question cuts deep for me because it's one of the root causes for a mental habit I have that I know I need to break, but I don't quite know how to go about breaking it. Because I feel like in trying to break this habit, I end up building another bad habit. I call this mental habit time traveling because oftentimes I'll ruminate on something that's happened in the past, and because I ruminate on that thing in the past, I tarnish my future. I pretty much say this thing in the past means that this thing in the future will happen and it'll be very bad. But then the answer is, all right, well then stay in the present moment where, these time travel fantasies aren't happening. But the issue is, if you're going through something in the present moment, then you'd want to be in anywhere but the present. So there's sort of a paradox when it comes to this. There's a paradox when it comes to this because you don't quite know where in your mental timeline you should be at. And that's why I call it time traveling. It'd be really cool if we could all be like Trunks from Dragon Ball and go back in the past to warn things that are going to happen and try to prevent them. Although, maybe that's a bad example because when Trunks went back to the past in Dragon Ball, he ended up changing things for the worse. So, oh boy, hopefully multiverse theory is not real. Or actually, I kind of hope it is. But I'm tangenting. Yeah, there's going to be plenty of nerd moments in this, so brace yourself. The first thing is, of course, patience, but nobody wants to hear that. But it does help, In time, the answers will come clear. And if they do not come clear, then they weren't worth the investment of learning why. And that's a harsh truth, I think, that we all have to understand is if something's been bothering you and you're never finding out an answer as to why, I think it's important to ask ourselves whether an answer is even worth finding. Will seeking an answer for something that's unanswerable cause more pain? If yes, then perhaps it's in our best interest to stop seeking that answer. But at least in my experience, something I've found that breaks this loop of rumination is something rather obvious, but I hope you can bear with me here. Taking action. I know, take action for anything and something will happen, but I mean that. There's something about actively seeking a way to improve yourself in the present moment that becomes infectious. When you're working diligently at something, not only are you bound to see improvement, but you begin to see what you're truly made of. If you're going through something right now, and it's causing you to remain sedentary and depressed and unmotivated to do things, which, trust me, that's real, man. Oftentimes when traumatic things happen to us, our response, at least for the initial, like the first month or two when it happens, our initial response is to shut down and be sedentary. But I promise you, if you do everything in your power to break that and take action, whether that be going outside and exercising, whether that be picking up a hobby you've always wanted to pick up, working hard at something. And I don't mean distract yourself. I don't mean distract yourself from the root problem. That can lead to things that I think make things worse too. Unfortunately, I'm not a super wise man, so things I could be saying may not be the most helpful things in the world, and I do apologize if that's the case, but I truly believe that if you take action to make something better, even if you don't know it will make something better, the fact that you're making an effort to get better, that you're trying, that does something to your mind. That habit of trying to improve yourself in an area that you're struggling in, it's such a valuable skill to have. For some reason, it just makes your brain do the happy. Maybe not immediately, but I promise over time that'll happen. You know, we have to be patient again, as much as that can be annoying. So all in all, will it ever get better? I'm going to go with yes. We just have to be patient, and we have to take action and continue to take action. I hope that this helped in some way. I know half of this was probably me rambling. I didn't talk about Dragon Ball for as long as I thought I was going to talk about Dragon Ball, so that's a plus. But either way, thank you so much for listening to this. You can get through this. I know you can. I believe in you. There's hope. There's always hope. Have a good night. Bye-bye.